So welcome to the Galactic Mind Weather Report. This is essentially a fortnightly video that I'm going to put out, sometimes on time, sometimes not, where it's really just an opportunity to look at the collective themes, the collective evolutionary themes that are impacting all of us around the world on very personal and collective levels. Now, this is looking at it through the lens of the Mayan dream spell, or the ancient Mayan Tzolk'in, which was a 260-day cycle, which is made up of 20 different what we call wave spells. So 20 different 13-day periods, and each one of these wave spells carries a theme. And by being able to drop into the current theme of what's moving through, it can actually be quite supportive in helping us just to, more than anything, surrender to the wave. Because just like out there in the world, if you're a surfer or bodyboarder, or you've been out there body surfing in the waves, when you get dumped by a wave, sometimes you just have to let go. You just have to surrender and stop fighting it. And then you'll come back to the surface much quicker. And if you know the next wave that's coming, if you know the style of the wave, you know how to read the ocean, then it's a lot easier to catch that wave and then ride it right to the shore, right? So in a way, these Galactic Mind weather reports, it's that for surfing life. So we have these waves coming through, and if we're not aware of what's going on, we can get overwhelmed, anxiety can go through the roof, and we fall off our surfboards because we get too caught up in fear. So today I want to drop into two layers of this. One is that we're in what's known as the yellow seed wave spell. Now I'm a little late in doing this video, so we're actually smack in the middle of it, halfway at the middle point of this 13-day period of the yellow seed wave spell. And this yellow seed wave spell is all about, as it says, seed. The yellow color represents refinement, and the seed is all about, evolving our capacity to focus our attention on the seed within our life, the seed within each of us that is waiting to crack open and bloom into the world. Because that's what the world needs right now, is it needs a lot more of our seed to crack open, our genius to be allowed out into the world to express itself. But it can be scary because that seed is surrounded by a manure, right? And, it stinks, it's dark. I think we've all seen that analogy of, how scary it is for the seed until eventually it becomes so uncomfortable remaining a seed that it just has to crack open and cultivate the courage to go forth into that manure, that stinky, shitty place, pardon my expression, and discover itself. And what's interesting is when that seed cracks open, it begins to realize, well, first thing it does, right? It sends the roots out, and it begins to realize that manure, as much as it stinks, as dark as it is, that manure is there to provide nourishment, to provide momentum, impetus, and this kind of driving force to encourage that seed to stretch out beyond it, to break through the shadow around it and crack open into receiving the sun, receiving this powerful light from the Father Sun above, in that sense. And we as humans are not that much different from our organic counterparts. Each of us are a seed. You are a unique seed. And within that seed is a deep, deep, authentic purpose, a form of genius that is your scent, that you are here to bloom into the world and to release. And it takes time, and it takes courage. And so during this yellow seed wave spell, I wanted to do this video and just really speak into this concept of what does it take to be able to focus on the seed and not on the manure. Because many of you have probably heard this saying that, where attention goes, energy flows, right? And in this simulation of a reality that we live in, we give power to that which we give attention to. That's just something that you can see, you can test, you can watch. It's as far as I'm concerned, is solid rule for our reality. And so, of course, if something is legitimately causing you danger, if you're in a middle of a road and there's a truck coming at you at 100 k's an hour, you can't just sit there and go, I'm going to turn my attention away and pay attention to that lovely tree over there, because the truck will hit you, right? Because it's a very real, solid, physical danger for your human vehicle. But what most of us are focusing on is not real danger. What most of us are focusing on is the shadow, the manure that's around us, those things that are uncomfortable, that are pushing our comfort, the edge of our comfort zone, and calling for us to step out. And so one of the first keys to being able to use this yellow seed energy and the challenges and the manure that's in your life right now, and the manure that's around the planet right now, because there's plenty, is to shift your perspective, to shift your perception of what is going on, of what is around us right now. And when you stop seeing these challenges from that victim mindset of poor me, I just got dealt a bad hand, I can't make it through, it's not fair because everyone else got it easier. Like, yeah, absolutely, that is the reality in so many different ways. But that's looking from a very base level of humanity when you look at it like that. Because the fact is that some of the greatest heroes in our world, the greatest innovators, the greatest inspirations to so many of us, they didn't come from being born into the world with a silver spoon in their mouth. Some did, but not all of them. Most of them came through an intense, arduous journey, of the soul. They faced challenges. They overcame the unobtainable in order to get to where they are. And that is what makes their story so amazing. That is what makes them an inspiration. That is what adds depth to their genius, as opposed to just being a superficial expression. And so it's about really changing the way we see manure in our lives. And when I say manure, it's those things. Maybe it's a challenging relationship. Maybe it's the way you're experiencing and perceiving the reality around you. And if you can perceive that rather than being something external in your world that you are a victim of that is oppressing you, but rather see it as something that is calling you to power, right? Every challenge in your relationship is calling for you to step up in authenticity. It's highlighting a weakness within your psyche, a weakness within your energetic field, or whatever it is. In the same way that when you get thirsty, it's a sign to drink water. If you get hungry, it's a sign to drink food. If you get frustrated, if you get angry, then it's a sign to look at your belief systems, your patterns. It's a sign to look at, your environment. Have you created a healthy environment for this physical vessel to exist in? Are you existing in healthy relationships? Or are you giving your energy and attention to draining, destructive relationships that maybe are just no longer part of your natural resonance and just need to be let go into the manure to be digested? And when we can start seeing these challenges in our lives as manure, then what we can begin to do is, just like making compost, is you can compost the challenges. You can compost your anger and emotion and the things around you. And what I mean by that is to digest it, to actually take time to think, okay, I got pissed off by my family or somebody, but rather than just yell and scream and try and get them to change, why is it that it's affecting me so much? Why is it that it's triggering me? Take time to look for the gift in these triggers. Find out, what is it calling out for you? Because maybe that very trigger is showing that maybe I'm overextending. Maybe I'm trying to help my family when they didn't ask for it. Maybe they need to go through the challenges in their life, and actually it's a selfish thing of me trying to help them because it's uncomfortable being around them because I feel like they need to be happy for me to be happy. That's one that I go through. So what is it for you? What are your challenges? And how can you turn them into a gift? And when we can start seeing the manure in our lives as being a treasure, right? Which any real gardener, and I'm sure there's a few of you watching, if you're a gardener, comment below and tell me if I'm right. True blue gardener, they love manure, right? The everyday person, it stinks. No one wants manure. Like, they hate it when the manure comes. It's horrible. I mean, it's literally shit, right? But a gardener doesn't see it that way. A gardener sees manure as potential. Infinite potential that is going to feed the seeds in their garden and help them to achieve their full potential in their garden, in their reality, in their world. So when a gardener looks at manure and smells manure, they can appreciate it, they can celebrate it and enjoy it. And in fact, they want to get in there and work that manure around the roots and make sure it's right in there, because they know that it's from that manure that the most beautiful rosebuds and that incredible scent that can't be seen or touched begins to emanate. And so my challenge to you during this Wavespell is, where can you turn manure into a gift? Where can you, in a healthy, safe way, create a solid environment in which you can see these challenges as opportunities for growth? And then rather than focusing on, how oppressed you are by the challenge, target your awareness on the beauty that it is calling out from you, on the potential that it is bringing to you, showing you of what could be possible. And then from there, I feel like as a collective, over the last about 45 days, we've been going through what's known as the Castle of Burning. So this is a 52-day season of essentially destroying the old, breaking it down, and then reimagining how we want to do reality. And so we're in the very last week of this, the last 7 days of this season of burning. And if you've been following my journey a little bit, and you're going to see some more videos coming in the next days, I've been jumping on a new social media platform called BitClout. And what was really interesting was during this Castle of Burning that I felt the real fire to cut away the old energy around me. And that included Facebook. And it was, there's like 9,000 followers, or whatever you call them, likes, or whatever they are these days, that was on there. That was kind of my market of where I could, get work from and all these different things. I just cut it and let it go because it was no longer resonant with who I am. And interestingly, what came to fill its place was a decentralized social media platform called BitClout that is beginning to take root. It's beginning to grow. It's still in the Wild West phase. I'm not recommending everyone to quit and run over there. But if you're an adventurer and explorer and you're feeling the call for something a little bit more exciting, then please do check out bitclout.com. I'll be doing some more videos which you'll see pop up on how to sign up, what it's all about, and sharing my passion with that, because that is where my attention is being focused right now. That's the seed that I'm personally growing. So what's your seed? I'd love to know. Hit it up in the comments below and let me know if this was interesting, if you'd like to see more of these. And looking forward to hearing from you. Much love, in Lakesh.